Thank you, board members. Superintendent's report.
Thank you. Good timing. There are just 2 items on this, and we'll have plenty of time to get to the Teacher of the Year event, which will be great. The first is just a quick follow-up on the request you received via email. We held a press conference because due to COVID, many of the resources that normally send referrals to us for little babies who are deaf, blind, hard of hearing, visually impaired, or deafblind have kind of dried up a little bit, and so our numbers are down by 40 to 60% in some instances. And so we held a press conference just to create awareness. We had tremendous support from the media, which is great. There were social media stories. We sent an email to you asking you, and if you could continue to just sort of, when you talk to people, be aware of that. I think it'll bounce back pretty quickly now that life is getting back to normal a little bit, but we just don't want one child to be missed out there, because you have a delay of several months in the life of a child and it causes years of challenges for them. And in some cases, if they miss certain windows, they can't ever recover certain developmental things. And so just for what it's worth, we have a link there. It's a story that you can send out to your friends, any network, and ask them in turn to send it out, because networking is what it's all about. It's word of mouth. And if a neighbor says, oh, you know what, my neighbors have a child who was born with vision problems, I should talk to them about this, then it's like the starfish on the beach, one at a time, and we just want to try to reach all of them that we can. The second thing on my superintendent's report is this really neat, it's this link. If you could click on the deaf outreach directory by county, whoever's running the show here, driving this machine, it's down here, deaf outreach directory by county. I just wanted to show you this on our website. One of our Adam Billings, our director of the Deaf South division, he created this. And if you scroll down, it's a map of the whole state, an interactive map, so that you can click on any area. So if someone lived in the Uinta Basin, or if they lived out in Tooele, you can click on any of those places and it will pull up the person to contact for USDB. This is for the deaf school. We'll be adding for the blind and the PIP people as well. But we just thought this was so impressive. We threw it on our website, and it's a really neat resource for the whole state. So people they can always call our main number and we'll find the person, and we do a great job referring to referrals. That's how we live. But this was just a really neat tool I thought I would share with board members so that you know that that's there on our website. And with that, that is everything for my superintendent's report, Mr. Chair. I think the chairman was abducted by aliens.
Okay. Hang on. Well, I'm trying to be really good and mute when I'm not speaking, and I forget that. I mean, hey, thank you, Superintendent. I'm not seeing any hands raised. And thank you, associate superintendents and all the staff that's making education happen for the deaf and blind, and appreciate all your efforts. So we look forward to your next report and more things for us to do. So we're looking forward to it. So thank you. Board members, at this time, we have a time certain at 11:15. So before we dive into our consent calendar, I thought, well, we could get into it. We might pull a few items, but maybe a small break would be appropriate. So board members, if we could be back online, I'm going to start promptly at the time certain, 11:15 superintendent's report. So let's take a little quick pause here. Thank you. Okay, board members, this is kind of the 2-minute warning. We're going to get started promptly at 11:15. Okay, I've got 11:15. According to our agenda, we're just a little bit behind. We're running about a half hour behind, but we have a time certain that is at 11:15, and that's our superintendent's report. This is a very exciting part of our agenda, and I'm not going to ruin it by speaking, so I'm going to turn the time over to Superintendent Dixon. Superintendent, are you ready?
I am. Thank you, Chair Huntsman. I have Robert Austin behind the scenes. I'll have him speak in a minute. He's driving the slides. Robert is our coordinator of our Utah Teacher of the Year program. And just a reminder that this program is part of a national Teacher of the Year program that is sponsored by the Council of State Chief School Officers. So I'm really proud to belong to an organization that honors teachers in this way. And I'll have Robert tell you a little bit later about the things that they do. So you might recall that last month I shared with you the finalists. So let's review who these 5 amazing people are. This year I just feel like I want to give all of our teachers a giant group hug, and they are all Teachers of the Year. The things that they are going through and doing and working hard at, I interact with teachers daily and hear their stories and their challenges and their triumphs, and I'm just so proud of our teachers. These 5 amazing finalists represent all of our great teachers, almost 28,000 teachers in Utah, and I'm so proud that they get to represent their districts and their colleagues and their students. So a reminder that our 5 finalists are John Arthur of Salt Lake City School District, Ray Boren of Jordan School District, Amy Gergich of Tooele County School District, Emma Moss of Canyon School District, and Ryan Wells of Granite School District. And I think we have a couple of them on with us. So if you're on camera, I see Emma and Ryan, and probably have a few others on that I'm not saying. Just thanks so much to you amazing teachers and all that you're doing. So we are going to announce 2 semifinalists or runners-up. And since we did not get to hold a banquet this year and dress up in our fancy clothes and show up after board meeting, which we would be doing today, we've been able to take some money and give some funds as well to these runners-up. So we'll announce these now. And our 2 runners-up for 2021 are Ray Boren of Jordan School District and Emma Moss of Canyon School District. And Ray and Emma will each receive $4,000 and some other goodies. So congratulations, Ray and Emma. we're very excited for you. Yay, thank you. This is like a jazz hands.
Yeah, there you go.
And personally, I'm going to come visit both of you ladies soon. So thank you for all that you're doing. All right, now to announce our 2021 Teacher of the Year, I was able to go make a visit this morning, so we have a special video for you. And crossing fingers.
The video is on its way. Is it Robert that's got there? Yeah.
It's coming. Here we go.
Is there audio attached to it?
No, just read along. And again, going through our wonderful 5 finalists. And our runners up, congratulations again. And here we go. And this really is supposed to have audio, so I'm not sure what's happening. So I was able to engage the students and talk to them about the award and what was happening. And so it was fun to see their reaction. They were super excited. Using my teacher skills. You can see when I said Teacher of the Year, how excited they were. Showing them a $10,000 check. It's backwards in the screen, but they can pick it up. Robert, I think you are muted. I'm sorry that we're not hearing all of this. We'll send this video to you so you can all hear it, and we'll post it. So John Arthur is our 2021 Teacher of the Year, and it was so much fun to go pin him, put his badge on him, award him a plaque and a check, and his kids were just super excited. But he was so worried about making sure that they were being taught while we were there, and it was amazing to watch him manage everything while we were punking him. So we've added in some video that we had of Mr. Arthur and things that he's done with his class, and here we are celebrating. Mr. Arthur has a YouTube channel where he often makes films with his class. He's quite famous for doing so. So you can go to his YouTube channel and see his class. Okay, and with that.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to have Robert tell you just a little bit about what Mr. Arthur will be in for, and then actually, John, let's have you go ahead and give your remarks, and then we'll have Robert speak. So I'd like to introduce you to our new 2021 Teacher of the Year, John Arthur.
Thank you.
Okay, you're on, John. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm still in shock, obviously, having been met by such a warm and incredible surprise this morning, but I'm incredibly grateful. I'm proud to bring this back to the Salt Lake City School District, to Meadowlark Elementary. I feel so blessed. children are the best people, and teaching is the best job, and there's just no better way to spend a day than working with kids. And I owe this recognition to 5 very powerful women in my life. My principal, Maggie Cummings, who nominated me and who has shown unprecedented leadership in an unprecedented time. My first principal, Heidi Green, who hired me and took good care of me through the good times and the bad. My mother-in-law, Sue Ann, who's tending my kids so I can care for my students. My mother, Suka, from Korea. She bought me this tuxedo jacket when I got married. I'm looking very 2020 COVID chic. I got my gym shorts on, but my tux on top. She always had this ambition that I would wear this tuxedo after my wedding when I won an Oscar or did something like that. And this is as close as I'm ever going to get, so I'm glad she gets to see it. And then my wife, Stacy, who is everything and is just a far better teacher than I'll ever be. I don't know how to wrap my head around being Teacher of the Year, especially this year of all years. It's hard to feel confident or sure about anything when everything feels conflicted and mixed up. I am both incredibly excited about the future of education, especially here in Utah, but also terrified of our present moment. As you can see, I'm teaching entirely online, and it's funny because I thought that I would feel distant from my kids, but having no physical contact, but getting to see their faces every day, and also being forced to go out to find them and reach out to them in order to make things work. I've done more home visits and called more parents and sent more texts and emails in the last 7 months than I have in 7 years as a teacher. And even though I'm physically distanced from them, even though I'm physically distanced from you, I feel in a lot of ways more connected as a teacher to my community than I have before. This is the perfect moment for us to think about what education should look like when this is all said and done. We take good care of each other during this terrible time, but also start planning and putting into place the steps that we need to create a more equitable educational system. Like I said before, we should be doing everything we can as we think about how we get our kids connected now. We also need to remember the students that were pushed out beforehand. We need to make sure that the school to prison pipeline is such a pre-COVID thing and makes no sense in the future. And I tell you, it's difficult thinking about what it means to be Teacher of the Year right now, because it's so hard listening to how teachers are talked about sometimes and talking with my colleagues. And I guess the hardest part for me is just the idea that teachers are somehow misunderstood. Like, people don't understand why it is that there's pushback from educators when plans are released and other things are trying to be put in place right now. Everyone's doing their best, but the thing that sticks with me is anytime I hear somebody say, like, what's going on with these teachers, or what are teachers thinking, or what are they feeling? I guess it bothers me because teachers are a pretty simple group to understand. And right now, parents are teachers, and teachers are parents. My 2 little girls are at home, and all of us should be feeling more connected and more understanding of each other, but it feels like there's a disconnect. And so to help bridge that disconnect, I just want to say, people who have chosen to do this professionally and dedicate our lives to educating and uplifting children, we're super easy to understand. My wife will tell you, we sacrifice our minds, our bodies, our souls. We give everything in service to our kids and to their education, to our students. We'll sacrifice anything except for people. We won't ever make a decision that puts other people at risk, especially our kids and our colleagues. I appreciate all the leadership that I've seen in our state. I know that we can all do more, and I'm excited for the opportunity to join in that effort with all of you. I'm super grateful for this, and yeah, I'm also excited to start teaching again in 30 minutes, so I can just look at my students and say, hey, they were kind of talking pretty big. They're like, hey, I mean, I guess this reflects well on us, you know. They didn't use those words, but that's basically the theme. And I was like, it does. You are the best students, but let's get busy. Let's get back to work. So thank you all again for this opportunity, and I'm excited to be here with you.
Mr. Arthur, I think your wife is in the room somewhere, is she not? Could we?
Yeah, do you mind if I show off?
Please do.
Wifey, do you mind coming over here? This is my wife, Stacy.
Hey, Stacey.
Arthur.
Hello, Stacy.
Couldn't be more proud.
Yeah.
Thank you for honoring my wonderful husband.
Well, Stacy, teaching is a family calling, as you know, and it's John doesn't do this in isolation. So thank you for supporting him in this great honor, and always, every day, as he gets up and works hard on behalf of our students. So thank you, and it's a pleasure to meet you, and we'll be seeing more of you this year. Normally, this will be a time when you get to dress up and come and have some form of chicken at a education banquet, but we're super proud of him. John, I know that we have board members who are putting comments in the chat, and Chair Huntsman, if you don't mind, perhaps there are some questions that they might have for Mr. Arthur.
Okay. Questions or comments from board members? I'm looking for hands. Board member
There are a lot
Cannon.
of great comments in the chat.
And we can keep them short if we can, because there's a lot of board members, and you have another time certain, but we want to make sure we celebrate this appropriately. So, board member Cannon.
Thank you. Mr. Arthur, I've met you before when you came and interviewed to be on our Access Committee, and I believe you still serve on that committee, and wonder if you just might comment on the role that you play on that committee, and on what that committee has done, and the interaction between that committee and the state board. And I want to give you also my personal warm congratulations. I feel this is so well deserved.
Thank you so much, board member Cannon. I always know to call you board member Cannon because I'm usually watching this on YouTube for my committee, so I can report back on what was happening. I represent the Asian community on the Access Committee for the State Board, and I still have the honor of doing that. And essentially, our role is to provide the board with our advice as community representatives regarding issues that may impact the equitable services and education that our students in Utah receive. It's been an amazing honor, and more than anything, just learning from my fellow committee members, representatives from the Black community, the Latino, the Native American. It's been such a incredibly powerful experience for me as an educator and just as a human being. And we provide advice in the form of board memos, and also we will come for public comment from time to time, just to make sure that we know you always have the best interests of Utah students at heart, but there's a lot of them, and they're from all kinds of different walks of life and background, and we just got to make sure that we're constantly shining a light on kids who might otherwise be forgotten.
Thank you. Board member Gravitt.
Mr. Arthur, congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
I wanted to tell the board and everyone who's listening that I had the honor of being in on the interviews with you and reading your wonderful application. And I have to admit, I'm a secondary teacher, but I was scrolling down ideas because I'm like, that's a really good idea. I think ninth graders can do it too. But I just wondered if you could share with the board, you had so many great messages about, what you would want to convey in this role. And I would love for you to express, what do you hope to convey in this role as Teacher of the Year to other teachers, to whoever?
You know what? It's so funny too, because time has such a remarkable effect right now. It seems like so long ago since we talked, and my messages that I expressed then are still true for me. When I think about what education is right now, we're in survival mode, obviously, and I just want to tell everybody, just do your best to get through and to be kind to others. I've had students who have been in crisis my entire career and dealing with trauma, and right now it just feels like that's all of us. We're all in a time of crisis. And so I'd just like to say to anyone, the same thing I would say to one of my students, one of my 11-year-olds. I would say, grace under fire doesn't mean you don't cry. And if you're cracking jokes right now to stay happy, that's good. Just try to make sure they're kind-hearted ones. And while we just take care of each other and get through this tough time, visualize the educational system that we want in Utah going forward. You know, I want to see more representation in our teaching force. I want our kids to come back in the post-COVID Utah education system to see teachers who look more like them, that are more representative of our student populations. I want to see more culturally responsive practices finding their way into our classrooms to help celebrate the histories and contributions of communities that have sometimes been overlooked and not celebrated nearly enough. And you know, it's just like anything. When I was once stuck in my old Chevy Blazer in the snow, and just I spent some time thinking about how awful my current situation was, but I just kept thinking about what I was going to do when I got home and when I was warm again, and all like it's one of those moments where you like reflect on everything. I got to do things differently with my life. How did I end up here? And that's what I would encourage all of us to do, because this is the time where we take action to make that better future a reality. This is where we start not only like trying to survive, but also like really take action steps towards creating the future that we want. You know, we can't just wait and then deal with that then. We do it now, so then when we wake up on that better day, it's there and it's ready to go.
Thank you so much. So proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Davis. Board Member Davis,
Yeah,
your hand raised.
Sorry, congratulations, Mr. Arthur.
Thank you.
Very happy for you. I heard you speak a couple of years ago, and I was truly impressed. And I felt like you were able to express the realities of the education profession, but to express those with candor, but also with kindness. And so when I hear you say that you want to bridge or create bridges between practitioners and policymakers, I want to express a vote of confidence that I think if anybody can do that, you can, with those skills that I have seen from you. So thanks for being willing, and thanks for all you do for Utah students.
Oh, thank you. If I have any skills as a public speaker, I was a shy Korean boy when I was a kid. And, you know, since this is like my one time, I'm going to get to like do shout outs. You know, I'm not like a rapper or a hip hop star. So I'm going to take the moment, if you don't mind. But my ninth grade teacher, Miss Kathy Anderson at Butler Middle School, got me into Model United Nations. I'm not afraid to admit it. I did Model United Nations through junior high and high school. And then my teachers, Jim McMorris and Jim Hodges at Brighton High School. If it wasn't for them, one, I might not have made it through high school, but two, I certainly wouldn't be a teacher, and I wouldn't have the guts to say anything that's on my mind or my heart. So I owe it all to them.
Well, thank you so much. And I actually started the Model United Nations conference at Brigham Young University that your teams came and just were amazing every year. So that's a fun connection. But thanks again for all.
I represented Djibouti at the BYU.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
That was one of my favorites.
Board Member Lear.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me speak. I am so proud of Mr. Arthur and Salt Lake District. Salt Lake District has been in the new one things, but this is just an example. One example of the district, and so impressed, and I'm proud of the fact that Teachers of the Year continue to write op-eds. They continue to advocate for public education, and I am just so excited to have a young man teaching elementary school and forth the thank you and
Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Lear. Board Member Thorpe.
Mr. Arthur, congratulations. And I just wanted to say I want all the same things that you want. Thank you to all of the teachers whose shoulders you're standing on at this point, and for being the spokesperson for all teachers in the state right now who have stepped up to the plate of mission impossible of this exact moment in our time. It's unlike anything we've seen before, but I am so grateful for the teachers of my kids, of your kids, of, across the state. Thank you for being the face of that for us for a little while and giving us a moment to celebrate all the incredible work that you're doing and that teachers across our state are doing. I just can't, you just made us smile today, given us so much hope. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do.
Thank you so much. And there are definitely a lot of teachers out there. I wish I could share this with everybody. It feels so weird to be chosen as Teacher of the Year. I've said this before. It feels like the task of picking one teacher is like picking like Rainbow of the Year or Unicorn of the Year. Like, teachers are natural wonders, and and especially this year in 2021, it feels like there ought to be just this poster brimming with pictures of teachers, on Zoom, parents at the table with their kids in the kitchen with their hand on their shoulder and their finger on the screen, and bus drivers dropping off meals to kids at their homes, and all of us just in this like beautiful tapestry that says, us, Utah's Teachers of the Year. Just this teaching is a team sport, and it's never been truer. It's always been there, but now it's obvious how much parents are teachers and how much teachers are parents. And yeah, I'm excited, like I said, about where this is going. I love a lot of what I've seen, but I'm also deeply saddened by a lot of what we see out there too, and I'm excited to try and address issues that need to be talked about openly and respectfully and honestly. So thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for those comments, Board Member.
Superintendent and Mr. Author, I'm not seeing any other hands raised, but I'll just keep my comments short. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for an example. And I'm looking forward to see how you handle being an ambassador for all the teachers here in the state of Utah. I'm sure you're gonna, I hope you have a really good time representing the education community. So thank you so much for your accomplishments.
Thank you.
Superintendent, do you have more to add?
We're going to try and loop Robert in. He was muted earlier, which is why we had no sound on the video for some reason. We couldn't unmute him, but if we can get him to speak, I just want the board and the public to understand a little bit about what Mr. Arthur will be doing this next year, besides teaching every day.
Right, as he's heading back after this announcement. But now I get to work with Mr. Arthur with 2021 Teacher of the Year to compete for the national award. And we've got a shot. We have a shot every year, but we've got a good shot this year. Only because we represent, as John has said, we represent all teachers. This is a real opportunity to celebrate educators. So John will get a chance to meet his colleagues from across the country, an amazing cohort of teachers who are also their territory or their state representatives. And he's going to enter into a huge professional learning community where he's going to learn and grow and share in the coming year. The great thing is he is always going to be the 2021 Teacher of the Year, just like Lauren Merkley is our 2020 Teacher of the Year, and we can go back and back and back, and they are all going to lead out this year. He'll get a chance to spend a week in Washington, we hope in real life, if not online, and he'll get a chance to go to space camp in the coming year. So lots of great opportunities ahead of him.
Space camp. My wife just freaked out. She's like a total science dork. Yeah, dork. Yeah, and yeah, that sounds great.
We'll call her Science Queen.
Yes, absolutely, well, Science Queen indeed.
Congratulations, Mr. Arthur, and Emma and Ray. If you want to just, I don't know if we can, excuse me, unmute them and just have them wave as well and say thank you. Emma and Ray, I don't know if you're still on.
I'm going first.
There you go.
I think there we go. I think I got to unmute. Thank you so much. I was so nervous coming into today, but I'm just in awe, especially watching so many of my fellow educators. John, congratulations. You are awesome. I've heard you speak before. And so I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And it was coming on today, but just in awe at the many things that educators do and have sacrificed, especially at this time. And just grateful to be honored, especially for a field I feel so passionate about and a chance to just serve and represent some small part of the educators here in Utah. So thank you so much.
Congratulations, Emma. Ray?
I could just say ditto on everything. I truly echo their sentiments. And John, props to you. I loved watching those videos of you and your students. Your passion for education is very evident. And I just wanted to say congratulations. And I feel very humbled and honored. I know who I work with. And I know the great colleagues that are in education, and we are in a noble profession. And despite that it is a very taxing time for educators, that we are putting in so many hours, I am grateful to be in this profession. I know that we show up to work, and I know every day we have the ability to make a difference. And I think how many occupations can say that? I mean, I know different occupations do in different ways, but I share the passion for education, and I know that we really do touch lives, and I'm grateful to be a part of this, and very humbled and very honored. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to all of our finalists and board. Thank you so much for spending part of your board meeting honoring teachers. I know you do that every time we meet, but this is a special day, and I know how you look forward to the banquet and all that goes with that. But in light of COVID, I think being able to do this virtually and giving time to our teachers and honoring them in this manner is the most important thing we could do. And so thank you for the support that you give to this program. And thank you to Robert. He wears so many hats, and I know this is a great love of his, that we kind of placed it in his lap, and he's done an amazing job. So we appreciate the support that he gives to the ever-growing ranks of Teachers of the Year. So congratulations and thank you for all that you're doing.
Thank you, Superintendent. This concludes your report, doesn't it? Okay.
Yes, it does.
Thank you. And I keep thinking Robert's going to change his name from Austin to Awesome, but or there'd be a lot of typos. I always want to put Awesome on the end, but one of these days we'll call him that accidentally, just because he is. So thank you for your work there, Robert. And thank you, runner-ups, and also Dr. Osser.